Hey, what's up, patrons? Let's just wait for the YouTube to wake up here, and we will be kicking into full gear. Yeah, here we are. Oh, yeah, it's waking up. It's waking up. Yes, yes. The internet can totally see you now. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is having a good Monday. So, Lucy says meow. So, let's keep in mind what CNN is. CNN, in recent years, first of all, they're not a news network. They're just not. CNN has at times placed people in front of green screens to make it seem like they were in a place that they're not in. CNN had to fire 3 different people over a Russiagate story where they just reported something without any type of journalistic process whatsoever. And that's something CNN constantly does. If something really fits their narrative, they will publish something without any due process. And then if they have to retract it later, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Jeff Zucker himself has admitted that CNN's priority is not news and journalism. Their priority is ratings and keeping the shareholders happy. Here where I live in Los Angeles, CNN is just seen as another network to pitch something. It's not considered a news network because it isn't. It's just a network where you're like, oh, I have this docuseries idea. Let me try CNN. That's what CNN is. It's not a news network. And that wouldn't be a problem if we didn't have a media structure where they're considered a news network. We have 3 networks. As far as news and information is concerned, 3 big ones with power anyway. CNN, which is just not a news network at all. MSNBC and Fox News, which are also not news networks, but for different reasons. They're just hyper-partisan punditry for one corporate-approved side or the other. Fox News for the corporate right, MSNBC for the corporate left. And it just serves as catnip whether you like the president or not. But that's the role CNN has in those 3. They're just not news at all. And if something fits the narrative that is approved by their owners, which is the donor class, they'll just publish whatever. Why do I bring that up? Well, because here's something that they published today. Bernie Sanders told Elizabeth Warren in a private 2018 meeting that a woman can't win, sources say. So this was a private meeting. And according to some sources, Bernie Sanders said this to Elizabeth Warren. So the 2 agreed that if they ultimately face each other as presidential candidates, they would remain civil and avoid attacking one another. Sanders responded, this is according to the article here, Sanders responded that he did not believe a woman could win. Sanders denied the characterization of the meeting in a statement to CNN. It is ludicrous to believe that the same meeting where Elizabeth Warren told me she was going to run for president, I would tell her that a woman couldn't win. It's sad that 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus and a year after that private conversation, staff who weren't in the room are lying about what happened. What I did say that night was that Donald Trump is a sexist, a racist, and a liar who would weaponize whatever he could. Do I believe a woman can win in 2020? Of course. After all, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes in 2016. That's what Bernie Sanders said in response to this. What did Warren say or her campaign? Well, they declined to comment. They don't want to say anything about this. Why? Because they want it to spread. And they're getting their wish. Check this out. So this was published several hours ago by CNN. Now, there will be more that unfolds to this as of the recording of this. In fact, there's a good chance when you're watching this video, more information is already available. So keep in mind when this video is taken. It is 5 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. That's what I'm coming at you right now. So if you're watching this clip later, chances are more information has already come to the surface. But it's important to note the timestamps here. It's important to note how this is unfolding in real time. And even if more is unfolded, which we'll be covering this more on the show tomorrow, it's important to note what has happened so far. So far, CNN has published a piece with just a bunch of random anonymous sources. Last time they did something like that, people got fired over it because it was just such journalistic negligence that it wasn't even funny. But that's what CNN has done so far. Who has made a statement? Well, Bernie Sanders has made a statement completely denying it. And Liz Warren won't comment. So why wouldn't Liz Warren comment one way or another? Why wouldn't she say either, yes, Bernie, that is what you said? If that's the truth, why wouldn't Liz Warren say so? Why wouldn't Liz Warren say, gee, Bernie, you did say that, and I can't defend you. I'm sorry this got leaked. It was a private conversation, but I'm not going to lie about what happened. You did say that. Why wouldn't she have said that? If it was true, if Bernie Sanders said that, why wouldn't Liz Warren say that right away when asked for comment? Maybe her silence is indicating that it's not true. Because with her silence, what is she doing? Well, she's buying some time to get this infiltrated to the news cycle so that it sticks. And here's something that just happened. So this was published by CNN. Let's see the time here, according to the article. So this was published a couple hours ago. It was at 1 p.m., around 1:15 approximately Eastern time. It's now 5, a little after 5 Eastern time. Here's something Business Insider just published a few moments ago, 1 hour ago. So that was about 4 hours ago, 1 hour ago, Business Insider did this. Bernie Sanders told Elizabeth Warren during a private meeting that a woman can't win the presidency. That's the headline. They hope you don't read past that. That's the headline. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont told Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts that he didn't believe a woman could win the 2020 election. There's the sentence, according to multiple media reports. What are those multiple media reports based off of? A couple random people, a couple unknown anonymous sources who weren't in the room. CNN published it. They published it anyway. My cat is in her litter box taking a shit right now, which is appropriate when we're talking about what CNN did. My cat's shit that's coming out of her asshole right now has more journalistic integrity than CNN did when they published this piece, and more than CNN has in general. So that is poetically appropriate. You know, I do believe that cats are smarter than we realize. How smart, I don't know, but maybe really freaking smart, because maybe it's poetic that Lucy knows she can't speak, but she's like, I'll give my input by dropping a turd in my litter box right now. That's what I think of what they're doing. But so Liz Warren and her campaign, they know this is how the media works. They know that, well, if we don't say anything, maybe it'll spread. And maybe when we do say something and say, oh, Bernie didn't actually say that, well, it'll be too late. It already stuck. This is very telling. And that's why I'm saying this now, because even if she comes out and makes a statement one way or another, first of all, if she says, well, he said it, it's like, why didn't you say that right away? If he said it, why didn't you say that right away? Why didn't you refute what he said right away? Why did you wait? And if she says, oh, Bernie didn't say that, too little, too late, Liz. We know what you did. We know what you and your campaign did. We're not that stupid. We're not that stupid. So this tells you, see, Lucy still has a lot to say. She's like, did you mention my turd? Yes, I did. This is telling. This is what Liz Warren is. This is, see, she has a lot of strong feelings about this. I would share this video, but he talks to his cat. I just can't stand watching somebody have joy with their pet. It bothers me. It bothers me. My blood is vinegar. But anyway, here, my arm. There we go. Perfect. Win-win. So there you go. And we're going to watch this unfold. There's going to be more that happens. But it's important to note the rhetorical event in real time. This is what happened so far. CNN published something with anonymous random sources who weren't in the room, just saying, oh, we think this happened in a private conversation. CNN publishes it pretty much uncritically. Bernie Sanders says that's not true. Liz Warren says nothing, so that it spreads throughout the media. And they hope you don't read past the headline. I guarantee you, Business Insider is really hoping you don't read past the headline. And you know who else is hoping you don't read past the headline? Liz Warren and her campaign. Now, I know you're already thinking, guys, it's a very tough day because we're already in mourning. Now that we know Cory Booker has suspended his campaign. Cory Booker, without Cory Booker, where are we going to get such brilliant insight, such as Donald Trump is a jerk and not a good president? Where else will we get that now that Cory Booker is out of the race? You know, my thoughts and prayers really go out to the one fraternity house where the flag is at half-mast today. And I just wish the best to Cory Booker. Now he has more time to do keg stands with his college buddies and to ignore the fact that his state doesn't have clean drinking water. But he will be really missed by the 1 or maybe 2% that he was pulling at. Where else will we get his brilliant insight? I know, Lucy, right? She could have sat in for him in every debate. My cat, we could have just put a sign on her that said Trump's bad. And when it came to, all right, Cory Booker, what do you have to say? They could have just shown her sign and she could have just me out. She would have sat there if you just gave her a human she liked. She would have stayed still the whole time. She could have subbed in. She could have been a Cory Booker surrogate for every single debate because that guy had no insight whatsoever. His only insight, Trump's bad. And he would pander for applause with it. That was it. That was all he had. Literally all he had. But here's something Cory Booker did right before he ended his campaign. He went after Kyle Kulinski. Kyle Kulinski tweeted about Liz Warren's dance moves, and there they are. You can see them. Cory Booker, you know, of course, if you criticize Liz Warren's dance moves, it's because you're sexist. You know, in Cory Booker land, you know, it's okay to criticize other things, but you can't criticize Liz Warren's dance moves. That makes you sexist. You know, according to Cory Booker. Kyle, of course, refuted him. We won't go through the entire thread, but spoiler alert, Kyle won in the end and refuted this. But that's something Cory Booker did right before he dropped out. So here's my PSA to Pete Buttigieg, to Liz Warren, to Joe Biden. Please, all three of you, please troll Kyle Kulinski. I'm a believer in trends and maybe even karma to some degree. Please go troll Kyle Kulinski on Twitter. Please do it. Please put him on blast. Kyle can handle it. He'll be fine. But I'm sensing a good omen here. Please. Liz Warren, do it right now. Defend yourself. Defend your dancing. Defend your selfies. Lucy's going to try to encourage them to do so. Please troll Kyle Kulinski immediately. Please. He can handle it. And any trend that happens, I'm for it. I'm with it. Troll Kyle Kulinski, Joe Biden. Please do it. You probably don't know how to use Twitter. Have one of your interns troll Kyle Kulinski. Same message to Pete Buttigieg. Same message to Joe Biden, Liz Warren, everybody. Just go do it. Go do it. And so long, Cory Booker. You, good luck with whatever it is you're going to do next. Maybe troll more YouTubers on Twitter, or maybe do something about your state not having clean drinking water. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Maybe you'll get a column where you can write such brilliant analysis, such as Trump's bad and has done bad things. Trump's bad and has done bad things. And I'm the guy who was getting a bunch of big pharma money and didn't let you get cheaper drugs from Canada because of that. I'm the one who stabbed Bernie Sanders' drug bill in the back. But I don't want to talk about that, so Trump's bad. Cory Booker will be missed by no one. He'll be missed as much as Beto O'Rourke. All right. Now, getting to the patrons. So, Dominic, you wanted me to talk about this. Let's take a look here. Dominic, you wanted me to cover this. Joe Biden has a longtime support of going against the middle class when it comes to pretty much everything. Dominic shares this. A specific bill that sometimes goes under the radar that we don't talk about enough, but is important to note, is the bankruptcy bill. So here's a nice summary here. So Elizabeth Warren has a new consumer bankruptcy plan that she'll support or not support given the week. But so this is quite contradictory to what Joe Biden supported, which was the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act of 2005. According to the article, the bankruptcy bill was perhaps the most anti-middle class piece of legislation in the past century. It was also Warren's introduction into the bare-knuckle world of legislative politics. She fought the bill tirelessly and succeeded in blocking it for nearly a decade. Her new plan makes it clear she hasn't given up the fight. Joe Biden, on the other hand, supported this. His numerous roll call votes on amendments to the bill have never been previously examined. Warren's plan draws sharp attention to these votes by adopting many of the very position Biden opposed. An examination of Biden's roll call votes paints a very different picture of Biden's involvement with the bill than the vice president likes to present. The record makes it clear that as a senator, Biden used his clout to push for the law's passage and to defeat amendments to shield service members, women, and children from its harsh treatment. When votes were taken, middle-class Joe was no friend to the middle class. Boom. Boom. And that continues. So there you go. Another, for instance, where Joe Biden on the wrong side of pretty much everything. All right. Getting back to the patrons and what you all have to say. Thank you for sharing that, Dominic. Mark, you sent a bunch of stuff. I'll get to the top one. Please talk about the origins of Granny Petrol, Mark asks. I just learned about her in the live stream with you, Graham, and Fee, and it's hilarious. Thank you, Mark. The idea to interview Greta as Petrol is a silly idea, and it reminds me of who Stephen Colbert used to be. Of course, you can interview her for real after that, LOL. Thank you, Mark. So for anyone not in the know, Granny Petrol is a character that Graham Elwood does, and I participate in as well on his stream over on the Political Vigilante. And it's this Granny Petrol who loves oil and is constantly talking to Greta Thunberg, and she goes, "Come on, Greta, please, oil powers cars. Why aren't you outside playing in the fumes?" And stuff like that. And we riff, and it's fun. Where did it come from? So there is actually a video, and I think it was made by some Canadian actor. Well, it was made by some organization, some pro-coal, oil organization. I forget which one exactly, but one of them. And there's this Canadian actress, and she's this older woman, and she sits in front of this fireplace that's clearly a green screen. It's like totally 100% not real. And it's very obvious. It's not the most high-tech video here. And she lectures Greta on how Greta's wrong about caring about climate change. And it's extremely funny. The video, I don't know how, I mean, just if you Google like Greta Thunberg wrong, lecture, Canadian, I don't know. But I'm sure you can find the video. So we watched this video on Graham's YouTube channel, and we just started going back and forth about it. I think the way I remember it, he said Granny Petro first. And then I caught it. I was like, that's hilarious. And then I called out, because we were doing a live stream at the All Things Comedy Studio. I called it out. I was like, guys, we got to get that trending on Twitter. And I think Truth to Tweet and some other people who were tuned in started using the hashtag Granny Petrol, and people still use it. So that, to the best of my recollection, is the origin of Granny Petrol. It originated on a live stream a little while ago. That was like a couple months ago at this point, and it's always a fun thing to revisit. So yeah, that's how that started. It was on Graham Elwood's YouTube channel. Thank you for that question. That's a fun one. Edwin, what's up, buddy? Happy Music Monday. It is Monday. We didn't do a regular Get Your News On with Ron today because I just got back from Portland, Oregon. Which shout out to everybody who came out to those shows. We had a live Jimmy Dore show Saturday and Sunday night. So much fun. Thank you to everyone in Portland who came out, and I can't wait to see you for the Progressive Comedy Tour in April. We're coming back in April to do a stand-up show, so I can't wait to see you again, Portland. And Seattle, I'll be seeing you too on that run. April 24th in Seattle, April 25th in Portland. So can't wait to see you again, Northwest, when it's not the winter. It was still an amazing trip, but I'll be happy when it's springtime next time I come up there. But Edwin wants to give a shout out to Rush. Farewell to Kings is the song that he recommends. And the reason he recommends that, King of Drums, rest in power, Neil Peart. Yeah, Neil Peart. I appreciate Rush for what they are. I respect the musicianship an awful lot. They're brilliant at what they do. I would never say otherwise. Musically, it's not like my favorite thing. It's just not really. I like some prog rock. I'm definitely not against it. But I'm more of a tall guy. And I'm just not a huge Rush fan personally, but I respect them a lot, and I'm totally with you there. Rest in power, Neil Peart. Shout out to Rush. And yeah, I remember I was actually, I was at Murray Valeriano, very funny comic, Murray Valeriano. You should check him out. I was at his house doing his podcast, and his podcast is about the road. We had a really fun episode because one thing Murray and I have in common, it's a very, very conversational, fun, laid back podcast. Murray and I are also both huge music fans. So half the podcast is just talking music and connecting the road and comedy on the road to music on the road and music that we like. So it's a super fun podcast. When it is out, I will be sharing it because I think you all enjoy it, especially if you're into the Music Mondays and stuff like that. And it's funny, I did his podcast, and as I was driving home from doing Murray's podcast, he texted me and he goes, dude, while we were talking, Neil Peart died, which then we found out that wasn't actually true. Neil Peart had died a few days prior. He died a couple days before it was reported. It wasn't reported until Friday. He actually died earlier in the week, but they were able to, I guess, kind of keep it under wraps, or maybe they wanted information to, get to family and stuff first before they announced it. But for whatever reason, there was a couple days in between when he passed away and when the press found out. But thank you for that shout out, Edwin, especially on this Music Monday. Rest in power, Neil Peart. Non de Plume, thank you for the super chat contribution. Wait a minute. 4 anonymous sources find CNN's reporting to be biased to their advertisers and would happily throw anyone under the bus for the right price. Absolutely. That's what happened. Tisha T, this made me donate to the Bernie campaign again. I was going to wait until the debate, but I'm with Lucy. Cat Pooey. Thank you, Tisha. Jameson Dwayne, where can we see you and Graham tomorrow for the debate? We will be streaming live, definitely on Graham's channel, maybe on this one as well. But we will be streaming live right after the debate at the All Things Comedy Studio, as we've been doing. So check that out. That'll be tomorrow. Non de Plume, Tisha, Jameson, thank you for the super chat contributions. Mark and Edwin and Dominic, thank you for the patron topics for this week. This is the patron stream, which means I only respond to the topics that the patrons send. If you want to support this show on the sustainability, and the replay, of course, is only available on Patreon. If you want to support this show on the sustainability, if you're not a patron yet, patreon.com/Ron Placone. For a give what you can level, that means you can give $5 as suggested. But if that's too high for you, I get it. You can give any amount you're comfortable with. And no matter what you give, you get all of the content that I put on Patreon. All my content is for all patrons. So what do you get? You get this stream once a week. You get a patrons-only stream once a week where you can drop topics, and only the patrons get to drop topics, and only the replay is available on Patreon. You get my album in its entirety for download. You get full stand-up clips, not available anywhere else. You get videos from different things, not available anywhere else. I just dropped a video of me doing some protest music at the Jimmy Dore show. It's not available anywhere else. All kinds of fun stuff. Dialogues between myself and my cat Lucy before they get illustrated. All kinds of cool, groovy stuff for a give what you can level. And you're going to help me expand this show and make mini documentaries along with my music interview series. That's what's coming up next for Get Your News On with Ron in 2020. We're going to be talking to musicians about how they feel about the election coming up. We're going to be doing mini documentaries around municipal broadband. That's going to be incorporated into this show. But I need some help to do that because that's going to require editors, more editors. Joe is my editor with the mostest, but it's going to require additional editing help. It's going to require camera folks. It's going to require production companies, all that stuff. Camera folks, can you tell I'm an official showbiz guy? But anyway, if you are able, patreon.com/Ron Placone. And to everyone watching this, thank you so much for your patronage. I could not do this without you. Everyone says that, and it's a cliche, but when I say it's like literally true. The premise of Get Your News On with Ron could not exist if it wasn't for you guys. And Get Your News On with Ron could not exist if it wasn't for the patrons allowing it to exist. So thank you so much for allowing this show to be sustainable, for being part of this movement. I thank you so much for it. In the meantime, you guys know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.